we lie to our kids and tell them, oh, this, that, other. And it's like at some point, you have to be the bad guy, right?
Yes. Hold on. Let me start this off right. It's Monday night. You know what that means. That means you tuned in to Technically Speaking, where we are giving you news
that you can use. You already know how it go down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tonight, you're missing the face. The lovely Bobby Lopez. She couldn't make it tonight. She has some family holiday festivities going on. So Merry Christmas out there. And Corey Giovanni, you didn't see him last week, but he's here this week, man. How was that vacation, man?
Man, you know what I'm saying? I had to go ahead and take the wife to Hawaii for her birthday. Felt really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Connect and chill. That's all we pretty much
Connect and chill. I like that.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I tell everybody, if you can get away, get away.
Yes. Hey, man, you know, that's 100% for sure, because we got grinders on here, and we'll introduce our special guest grinder that's on here too.
Yes,
but the way I learned it, man, was a lot of people work so they can like vacation and whatnot, right? And chill or whatever, right? But the real hustlers and grinders and builders, they vacation and rest so they can hustle, recharge that battery so you could come back and just kill the game, man. That's a different way of things, man. Hopefully that connects with folks. So that's your co-host Corey Giovanni back from Hawaii with a nice tan. You know,
you already know. You know what I'm saying?
He was out there getting sun kissed.
Trying to fix my camera light to make sure that I'm not doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you got my caramel complexion.
Hey, and I'm your co-host Geronimo, aka Tech_Von_ going on Instagram, and then we have a special guest. Now, when I say special guest, I mean special guest. Me and this dude right here, we go back, man. And our connection is deeper than just being beige. You know what I mean? I know we both some beige brothers on here, but our connection goes deeper than that. This man right here met this dude when I was stationed in Tucson, Arizona, through another connect. He reminded me of Ray CL, connected us. His wife actually used to keep my kids. That's how I met him. And through him, I met KickitFree. And KickitFree and I had a good run in Tucson, Arizona. Coming soon, there's a documentary coming out that a mutual friend named Major One, shout out to Major One, is putting out called The Legends of Tucson. Look out for that, y'all. So this guy right here is an amazing songwriter, an amazing producer, an amazing father, an amazing husband. So IG, Facebook, YouTube, man, give my friend some love. Welcome KickitFree, aka KickitFree.
It's good to be here, man. Gave me quite the intro right there, man. I'm just hoping I can continue to live up to all that. You know what I mean? But man, it's a pleasure to be on the show. I see y'all doing some big things on here. I've been in them comments. I be wanting to say stuff. I told them y'all better be careful putting me on here. I might get y'all show shut down. I don't know.
Hey man, keep it real. That's that. Hey, you kept it real. You know, when we were doing our run back in the day, and I expect nothing less. Shout out to Dr. Poole. I see you on IG, always showing love.
Hey, what up, Dr. Poole?
Another repeat offender right there. Yes, it's all love. So I want to get, you know, our community acquainted with you, sir. So like I said, you're a super producer. We're going to have him come back to the show because he's actually working on a project. Talk about your new project that you're working on right now that's coming out soon.
Well, the project's called Pixels. Just thought of the reason why I called it Pixels is got just a broader ideas and thoughts. Just imagine a picture, how you got all these different pixels that form the picture and make it come together. So the album will be out on Christmas Day. So my gift to the world is coming out on Christmas Day, the 25th. It'll be live on all major platforms. So I'm pretty excited. My first major solo album to be released. I've been sticking on these beats for a long time, but man, I'm very, very excited. 16 tracks, just pure heat, and I made it in a month and a half. So that's what makes it even more spectacular, because when you hear it, you're gonna be like, whoa, like damn, I did everything: production, mixing, mastering, writing all the stuff. I got 2 features from my kids. It's in the family. So I got my sons, K Belly and Omar Licious, both on the album, and I mean, it's just straight fire, man. I'm excited for everyone to hear.
Yeah, I was excited when I was listening to it, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was like, okay, when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, I'm trying to get back on that Citrus Soul vibe, man. And that was the name of our
Soul.
you know what I'm saying? That we had Citrus Soul and underground label we had.
Yep. I'm still rocking with it, man. I'm a roll till the wheels fall off on that joint. I'm Citrus Soul till I die.
You still in AZ, right?
Yes, sir. By way of text. By way of text.
Have you heard of Locals Only?
I can't say that I have. I probably have, but man,
they out in
paying attention to too much.
Okay, because they're out in Phoenix and Surprise. My nephew out there runs Locals Only, and like Locals Only in Arizona, Tucson and Surprise, and even in Phoenix. Artists, you know what I'm saying? You let them do their thing. So I have to check it out. I have to check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not as big into the performing aspect of things. I kind of just want to create. You know what I mean? I'm 42 years old. Right. I just came out of retirement. I wasn't even rapping for like 11 years, 12 years. I've been doing nothing but making beats and producing for people. And I just I had this little itch, man. I had to scratch it, and now I can't get off of it.
Can't get off of it.
Oh, yeah,
so let me ask you this. Let me ask one MC who been doing the music thing for probably around the same amount of time you are. Because if you're 42 and I'm 43, and you probably been doing it for about 20 some odd years, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you ever freestyle in your sleep?
You know what? I couldn't tell you. I've smoked way too much weed in my day. So like when my dreams happen, like I don't be remembering my dreams like that. Now I do. They be vivid as hell now.
Right. So the reason why I say this is because of the fact that you're the true artistry, and you are a true artist because you're dedicated to learning how to mix, master, and you also write and produce. So sometimes, I mean, me, I write, produce. I don't mix and master. I leave that to you guys. But sometimes, like, I find myself waking up in the middle of the night, like, with bars just floating in my head. And I'll be like, and I'll be stringing them together, right? And it's funny because I thought I was the only one who did that until I saw my homeboy say the same thing. And I'm like, okay, so it's just something that we do, right? It's not hard for us to be able to get 16 and put it on paper within 35, 40 minutes because we already inspired from an internal connection we have from the very first time we released a project that we put out. It's crazy. It's like, it's very, very abnormal. And I say that because I remember there was a point in time, I'm like, everybody can do this, right? Everybody cannot do this.
Nah, ain't everybody that can do this right here. You know, as far as like being asleep and having like ideas and be creative, like, man, that happens all the time where I be trying to sleep because it's so hard for me to sleep. I'm truly like an insomniac, bro. I lay in the bed, but I'm not asleep. My wife is out cold snoring, and I'm just sitting there thinking about things. So I do be getting creative whenever I'm laying in the bed. That's probably when I think about the most stuff. But yeah, man, the nighttime seems to be the best time for me to create. You know, like that's whenever it just starts just coming, man. You'd be like, oh man, I want to shut it down, but I can't.
That's why a lot of
I feel that, man. We gotta take them back to when we did our first mixtape. The Orientation Is Too Easy, Volume 1, dude. To your point, we was up like all night every day when we was working on that. And that's probably at least like a good 4 or 5 months of just nothing but just in the studio grinding, man. People be like, hey, did you watch this show? Nope. Was in the studio. Hey, did you watch it? Nope. Was in the studio.
Yeah.
Till the sun came up, boy.
The sun came up, boy. Those were the days, man. What you about to say, boy?
I was gonna say, it's the reason why whenever you because I've been a part of some of these writing camps, and like when they have live studio sessions that I can attend, I don't, because you know what I'm saying, I'm civilian, but I'm still producer, music artist, but I'm not in the industry like that anymore. So they'd be like, okay, well, we're gonna have a session from 8 to 8. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they told me 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. I was like, oh, nah. But I see why they do it. You're more creative at night. You just are. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I was impressed with some of the stuff that people do. But then I find out that's a normal. Like, those are studio booking times from anywhere from independent artists all the way to major mainstream artists. Those are the times where they go in and they
about that. Why does the creativity come to artists at night like that?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because during the day we're about business. We ain't thinking about creating during the day. Like, we got lives we still gotta live upon, on top of all this creativity stuff. So I mean, that's not to say that I don't get creative during the day. If I'm off, shoot, you can catch me in here getting busy. I mean, shoot, I was just in here working on beats. I've made like 4 beats today. So like, I've been creative. I'm off, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's like I got kids, I got a wife. So it's like I got to deal and tend to all the business during the day, and at night everything kind of slows down and I can kind of get back to being creative again. So I mean, that may not be for everybody, but for me, I can say that's why. Like, I can be creative any time of the day, but for the most part, my schedule demands that I be creative at night and not during the day.
Yeah. Now I gotta say this because I know Corey has been directing videos for some up and coming talent. There needs to be a connect, Corey. Like, I feel like they could benefit from some KickitFree beats, man.
Yeah, man. Look, no lie. I know a lot of people out here in LA, especially up and coming, and but for the last, I'm gonna be honest with you, last week I have not been tapped into anything because I devoted all that time to my missus.
On vacation. Yeah.
But there's some people out there that's been hitting me up or just been on my timeline in general saying they needed music production or they needed scores. So definitely I'm gonna plug you in, KickitFree. What I'll do is I'll tag you in the post. You know what I'm saying? And then if it's somebody who I know, I can be like, oh, let me go ahead DM them, and then I mention you on that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I got
you. I'm a different kind of breed, man. Like, I'm not making everything that everybody else is making.
Not at all.
Me, I'm definitely I'm unique. I march to the beat of my own drum. Like, sometimes people hear it and they're like, eh. And that's one of the reasons why I actually did what I did on the album, because it's like I want to showcase that you may not originally get the idea whenever I'm doing stuff. I feel like I'm ahead a little bit, like, but this is to kind of like force feed people, like, oh shit, like you can get down on this stuff, okay.
And I could vouch for that. I could vouch for that because I think you did about 4 beats on my album when I did my album before I had to bow out gracefully. But anytime I let someone listen to it, man, they would always say, man, you ahead of your time. And they would always be referencing your beats and Alexis Carrington. Shout out to Alexis Carrington out there. Because you and Alexis Carrington did the bulk of my album, man. So definitely anyone who's looking for some beats, man, that's different. Not just and no shade on the trap or drill sound, but if you want something that's a little bit different than the trap and drill, holla at KickitFree. Come to death.
Well, what I will recommend this, KickitFree.
Hey, real quick, hold on. We got some good feedback on Instagram. Creative Native said, I got that orange aura.
Orange aura, I call it citrus soul, boy.
Hey.
Yep, it runs through the blood.
Hey, Creative Native said he's gonna need some of them KickitFree beats. That's my brother, by the way. So
of course,
the Orientation was his favorite mixtape, man. He still plays that today. When we had his crib functioning, he still puts that on, KickitFree. Like, you don't know, man. That
hey, you want to know something funny about that? Hey, cause I never got to talk to you about this, but I gotta say something real quick.
What's up?
Hey, bro, you know when we pressed out the album, right? On the album, like, I was sad. I didn't even notice it. My cousin was like, "Hey, do you notice that the album says Orientation?" And I said, "Oh man, ain't that some stuff?" Like, I didn't even know.
It don't say orientation.
It said orientation on that joint. I was weak. I said, "Oh my god!"
Oh god.
I didn't even see that.
So to us it's the orientation, but to others it might be the orientation.
That's
Okay. long as it don't say something else that's very close, because we can get canceled.
Yep. That had me weak, bro. I was like, "Oh man, you got to be kidding me!" He showed me. I was like, "Oh wow." I never even noticed it. It was just so. I only thought orientation whenever I saw it. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah. If you go back and look at it, you're gonna be weak. You're gonna be like,
"Oh, go back."
We gotta put that on. We gotta post that. We gotta post that. Just the JPEG on the socials.
We're gonna do that.
Yes, sir.
Well, you gonna add something, Corey?
What I was gonna say is KickitFree, man. Definitely consider. I don't know how you feel about sync license and placements. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the realm I delve in as well. So if you're interested, I got a team of people that we submit. We just throw out. We just keep submitting, and then when something finally sticks, then you get the sync placement fee, which is usually an upfront fee that they pay you. And then you get your license and royalties being paid out through your pro. You know what I'm saying?
With that, I'm with it, man. Like I be creating beats all the time, man. Some of them I send to my partners, and some of them I get on. But I got a vault of stuff just sitting here.
Don't sit on them, man. Throw them on a DSP, like United Masters. You can be able to do them there.
It's weird, bro, because for me, like, you know what I mean, like. Back in the day, I used to want to be famous. After seeing everything that's going on in the world and how the industry actually works, man, I don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So it's like this is more of a hobby for me. I won't do this until I die. Like I just love music, and if I didn't have music in my life, I don't know how I would be. Some people need got different vices, the drugs and alcohol, whatever it may be, working out. But bro, mine is music. I'm not making music. Yeah. I'm not a great to be around. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's my relief. It's my stress right there. My stress relief.
Hey, you know that's a good message right there, man. For anyone that's up and coming, man. Y'all, you need to know that. Hey, do this because you love it. And I heard Timbaland say this before too. Do this because you love it, not because you're trying to make money off of it. Now, if you're the selective few that gets lucky to actually make money off of it, then good on you, but don't quit your day job.
I wouldn't say selective few. There is a lot of ways to make money that people just don't know about. And the reason why I said throw them on DSPs, remember, a DSP is connected to a la YouTube, a la Facebook, a la Instagram, right? Think about if somebody go viral on your DSP, your song that you put on, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna bring you a lot of chunk change. There's an artist right now that I know who makes beats, and he's a rapper, and he made no money off his rapping part of Gift, but he's making thousands of dollars every month from people going viral off of his music that is on United Masters. Okay. And then also consider this too, Phantom Beats. He the one who actually sold Soulja Boy that one beat. That was kind of like, I think Soulja Boy bought it for $50K, and it was something that went trending, and he had his beat on YouTube. So you know what I'm saying? Play the game differently, not the traditional way, because everything that we do is not the traditional way. Everything we do is totally different, just like crypto.
Sure, tell you what, and we'll get to the crypto later. But before that, we got something else we got to talk about. But I want to cap that off because you have a point. You have a point, and I tell you what, like some of my Hawaiian brothers told me last time I was in Hawaii, man, because I got some friends out there, musicians. And one person, he told me, he was like, use the music to feed your soul, but you may have to find something that could feed your wallet. Like I get what you're saying, and I hate to give people false hope, because the key word you said was if. You know what I mean? That was a very key word. You might and maybe. You know what I mean? And that's why I will say this, right? You gotta know if you got it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to it, you got it or you don't. Like I would say KickitFree got it. You know what I mean? Like, to the point to where I hear people like KickitFree and Kendrick Lamar. I listen to them and I'm like, yeah, let me just do this for fun and let me go find a different way to make money. Just keeping it real, man. You got to be real, man.
You have to.
And just don't quit your day job. Feed your soul with the art, but feed your wallet with a job. And don't mess up the money, man. That's all I'm gonna say is do not mess up the money, man, because these bills still got to get paid. Yes, you can probably go viral, and if you go viral, that is a blessing. But definitely be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? And even with the DSPs and placements and stuff like that, you can make some money. You know what I mean? But
real good money.
Bills take more than just some money. It's at the end of the day, it's a probability game, right? It's numbers and math, right? The probability of being able to be able to sustain a lifestyle off of that, and
right?
You know what I mean? It's probability. You know what I'm saying? If it's just for the money, you know what I mean? You could be a truck driver and earn 6 figures. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Lead with you like it, you know what I mean? And if it turns into something, do what you're talking about where you can actually generate some good revenue. That's cool. I just wouldn't hold your breath on it. You know what I mean? Because that's when you get depression and you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing about it.
Pile up.
If you look at it like, I wish we had more time on this because I could be able to break it down where you can still do your normal 9 to 5 with the solutions that I'm bringing up. But that's for a different time, and we can talk offline about that on how it can benefit for you, K-Free. Because real talk, you know what I'm saying? I've heard your music. I remember listening to not just the orientation, but also Mr. Clean, right?
Yeah.
And I truly know you got it. You got it. And the only reason why a lot of us that has it don't be where the other people that we see are is because we lack either the connections to put us there, or we go ahead and life be lifing and we kick in with life. So we got to go ahead and pay these bills.
Yeah.
There's a scary aspect to it for me. The scary aspect for me, and that's why I don't like push to try to make it, is that I love this so much that I don't want to get to a point where I don't love it anymore.
I don't think you ever will, bro.
Whenever it becomes business, sometimes you end up losing the love for something because there's just too much on top coming from the business aspect of it. So I keep it carefree. If something happens, great. I'd love to make money off of it if that happens, you know what I mean? But that's not my motivation.
You don't keep it free?
I just want to share my music with the world, and it's something that I'm gonna do regardless. You feel me?
Right. And again, you know what I'm saying? Look. Like we got so many. We got so many other topics.
We do. Again, hey, he's coming back. We gonna do what we said. We're gonna do a post-release listening party, right? If we can. If the DSPs, we'll figure it out. But we'll go deeper and talk into that. Now let's talk about some other dreams, man. We got to switch it up. We talking dreams. It's the season of dreaming. It's the season of giving. And it's the season of Santa, right? So yeah, man. The question we got for everyone is, when should you tell your kids the truth about Santa Claus? And K-Free, you gonna open us up and get it started since you the special guest.
Man, it's funny because I was just talking to my wife, and I gotta keep it quiet because my kids is in there. But so I was just talking to my wife about this. I was telling her, I was like, you realize that this is like some form of psychological warfare? Like, we lie to our kids and tell them, this, that, other, and it's like at some point you have to be the bad guy, right? So my since I've been through this multiple times, I just let nature take its course, because rather than me have to tell them, I'd much rather them find out from the kids, and then they just kind of like be like, oh, and then I kind of explain to them, you know what I'm saying? But like, I've been through this. I've had it happen 3 times. I'm getting to the point where the 4th time it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? But it has been good with all the other ones, so I just let nature take its course. That's my response. I'm not gonna go out and I'm not gonna shake the tree. I'm gonna leave it alone. You feel me?
Let nature take its course. Okay. Corey, what's your thoughts on that? When should you tell your kids the truth about Santa?
I'm breaking branches off the tree, bro. I'm telling you right now. My daughter the other day, she was like, okay, all right. When do you tell them? I tell them as soon as they discover about Santa Claus. Why? Because ain't nobody getting the credit that I do. pointblankperiod.com, put a P on it. Number 2, you know what I'm saying? I hurt the feelings now and hold them and smooth it over later. Because what happened is they'll grow up thinking that everybody is nice. That Santa Claus, every Santa Claus you see is a person you can be like, oh, I want this, and then expect that. No. And so what I did was I don't have a problem, you know what I'm saying, letting my daughters and my son know that Santa Claus is not real. He's not. Y'all can look, parents, if you need somebody to tell them, look, Corey Giovanni will tell you. They gonna find out eventually. You know exactly. And I'm the one to tell them. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? It gives them thick skin when they get older. Now, if they got problems in school, kids are fighting other kids saying because Santa Claus ain't real. Hey, stop lying to your kids because we protect them. Okay, we protect our kids. Period.com. I tell them, like, I shake the branch on that tree, bro. You know what I'm saying? Look, the truth will fall out, and I'm not gonna be the one because I was lied to. I'm gonna keep it real. It's childhood trauma. I was lied to. All right. Christmas Day. I'm gonna give you the story. It's gonna be real quick because I want to take up too much time.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I'm opening up gifts. I was like 7, right? And you know when kids opening up gifts, they excited. Like, oh yeah, this came from my auntie, this came from this came from that. And then it said, my brother had an older brother named Tony. He's like, Tony from Santa, right? And then he opened it up. What is it? It's a Nintendo in the NES, right? I'm like, wow. So then I go and it says from Santa. I go opening up some house shoes, and I'm like, wait, what? And so then he gets another one that says NES. I'm not NES. It says Santa, right? And then it's Super Mario and Duck Hunt with the gun, right? I don't get another package that says Santa. So I'm like, Santa didn't bring me nothing. And my mom and them is looking at me like, and I was like, well, I'm missing a gift because we had equal. And you know, I'm the youngest. So I'm thinking like, whatever he get, I'm going to get. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He ain't getting nothing that I ain't getting. So, and I was heartbroken. And then I learned from my mama at 7 years old that, baby, I bought you that. I just put Santa on that, and I forgot to put your name at the bottom next to Tony. And I was like, so there ain't no Santa?
That's why you breaking branches. You breaking branches because you heartbroken.
Yeah, yes.
That's the difference.
But here's the thing. I realized it's because my mama lied to me. And she gave somebody else the credit that she deserved.
Yeah, that's it right there.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to lie to my kids.
I will always make the big stuff come from me. The little stuff can come from him. You know what I mean? Like, I take credit for the big stuff. You got to be smart about it. I ain't putting no Nintendo under the tree and be like, oh, like, no, hell no, how about that?
Right? This is 1987. So you know, 1987, Nintendo was a big deal. I think it was.
It was.
Yeah.
That was top-notch technology right there, boy.
I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Had the RF switch in the back.
What?
Yeah, 8-bit. You had 2 controllers with 2 buttons and a joystick. Not a joystick, but a joypad. Yeah. So
the gun with Duck Hunt though, that was the truth.
Oh, yeah, I used to around the house like I was a gangster with that.
I'm saying
I wasn't even playing Duck Hunt. I wasn't even playing Duck Hunt. I was holding people up.
KickitFree was like, this real life.
Y'all are the ducks. I'm about to shoot y'all with this gun. Y'all better watch out.
So my take on that, I'm with Corey, man. And I guess you could say similar heartbreak, right? I went through a time when I was struggling, boy. And that was actually around the time we were working on that mixtape, man. And I'll share this, man. I don't know if you ever remember this, but I got so much love for KickitFree, man, because things had got so tough one time, man. I didn't even have money to buy ice cream. And like I was just venting one day. You came over for a session, man. You brought some ice cream over for the kids, and I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
appreciate
man. I had to be there, man.
Yeah, that's man.
I remember.
Go ahead.
I said I remember it. I'm pretty sure we barbecued that day too.
We did. We did.
And that was the same year. Man.
Yeah, we had all that. That was the same year I had to rattle that tree and break the truth out to the kids, man. Because Pops was broke, man. Look, I was broke and I was struggling. Now I wasn't letting no fat white dude get the credit for my hard work and struggle. I'm just keeping it real. This white dude didn't get his credit, man. Like I'm
getting credit for other stuff that we do. They're not getting credit for that because I'll be partaking in that buffoonery.
Yeah, hell yeah. I was like, hell no, Dad bought all that, everything. Yeah. And you see everything here. Dad had to hustle, and I'm struggling, and we got this. Okay, Dad got that, dude. I kept it so real with them. The following year, the kids were like, Dad, we know there's no Santa Claus, but just for the spirit, can you just put from Santa on some of the gifts? So we know it's from you? And I'm like, I'm down for that. As long as you know I did it.
Right. They get it in that.
Say what?
It's about the imagination experience. Like I'm gonna tell you like this. Like my wife, like I can't just come out and just say it. I would, but my wife likes to create this experience for the kids. Yeah. And I'm not gonna impede on that. You know what I mean? But like, trust me, if it was just me, I probably would do the exact same thing that y'all did. But my hands are kind of tied. You know what I mean? So I gotta let it ride out and be like, okay.
I did it without my wife knowing. My wife, because my daughter, my daughter was, because they do it. She go to public school. My youngest go to public school, and my twins they went to Christian school. So, you know what I'm saying? They were in school, and they know that they don't talk about Christmas. They don't talk about Santa Claus. They talk about, the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas. Right. But in the public school, they had like Santa Claus this, Santa Claus that, and so my youngest, and this is when I knew I needed to do it. My oldest son, my only son, they were in the back car, and Raven, which is the twin oldest girl, was like, "Wow, I wish we could go see Santa Claus." And then Raymond, he was like, "Santa Claus ain't real." And then Bailey, the youngest, she was like, "Don't say that." And she was serious, bro. She was like, if somebody took her crackers, bro, she was like, "Don't say that." And I was like, "Baby, we gonna have a talk at home." So we had to talk. I gave her some crackers. I was like, "Baby girl, Santa Claus is not real." And she was like, "No, yes, he is." I said, "These are people who play Santa Claus, because they are in the spirit of Christmas." And then I quickly switched the subject. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Good tactic. Look at that. See, that's what, for y'all that need some help on what to do, just change the subject on them. That's what's up. Someone hit me one time. I was like, Santa Claus isn't real. And they was like, well, if Santa Claus isn't real, how come there's reindeer? And I was just like, you got me. You got me on that one. Hold on, wait a minute.
All right. Really, would you say that there's really, I guess I just call them deer. You call them reindeers?
It ain't reindeer.
It's just deer to me.
That's a good clap back. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna put it out there like this: IG, Facebook, whoever's on Facebook, you tell me who's on Facebook because we're on yours, Corey. This is the decision I have to make. I got a 2-year-old, and she's at that age, right? This is the first Christmas that she really could kind of understand what's going on. So what should I do? Should I let her? Because what you said made a lot of sense, K-Free. The experience, imagination, and whatnot. Because I was about to tell her, like, by the time she can understand, ain't no Santa Claus. It's all us. It's me and mommy right here. Or what do I do? And I want IG to chime in on this too.
This is what you do.
I would wait because at this age they in a theta state. So they creating a bunch of imaginary things. Like she gonna be in a room playing with imaginary dolls and creating these experiences and stuff like that. So for this point, I would say probably just let it ride. But whenever you get to about 7, 8. In that range, whenever it's like, I think you eventually gonna have to like say something. You know what I mean? It's gonna come to light. But right now, it ain't even a thing that really even needs to be addressed. Like you just going out there just breaking somebody's heart to break their heart at this point. You know what I mean? You just want to be the bad guy.
What you got? Hey, I appreciate that. I'm taking that in.
What IG said? What IG said?
Well, IG, we got Creative Native. He said, "Don't be a jerk." He used a different word, but I'm gonna say, "Don't be a jerk." And then Dr. Pooh said, "Tell him not to spoil it for others." And then Creative Native said, don't kill her imagination. So he's kind of aligning with what you said KickitFree. What's up, Corey?
Finally got tagged in. All right. Don't shake the tree, okay? Put on the Santa suit and put on the mask. And then go ahead and say, this gift is from Santa Claus. And he's like, Daddy, that's you. That's not Santa. I know. I'm Santa Claus. And I come out every time around this time of the year. And he's like, okay. Like so then what's going to happen is this.
Not too bad. I thought he was going to just peel off of the mask.
I said, Daddy. No. You go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So what's going to happen is, next year you do it, make something out of it, and as you get older, start removing the element of the costume.
Ooh.
Take the beard away next year. Take the hat away with the beard the year after. Just start wearing red and white, and then she's gonna develop a pattern and know that Santa Claus is who? Daddy.
I like that.
That's called condition. You conditioning her to get right, so it's not gonna be a big deal. I actually like the idea, but I'm not getting in no damn Santa suit. That's the problem. Like, it won't work for me because I'm not putting that suit on. I can't do it. Not walk around with no black belt with a white beard and all that.
Right.
I'm good.
Creative Native said, Gmo, that's me, ain't fluffy like the rest of us.
Right.
I could get like a little thing to make it look like I'm fluffy and jolly. You know what I mean? I like to appreciate that. So it seems like the consensus is about 7-ish is the right time, because that's when the world's gonna tell them anywhere around that point anyway. I can get with that. I could. You kind of like changed my perspective having this conversation, because I was like, Corey, let's shake the tree. I don't care. 2 o'clock. Ain't no Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's almost going to the room whenever they playing with their toys, tell them you stop talking to that imagination. They ain't nobody like.
Good point.
It's just one of the things where they're gonna be in an imagination state for a few years, and then whenever they get out. But I do like Corey's idea. The condition, the condition is good, because you basically, it's no different than going through a program. You training them to realize that it's not what they think it is. You know what I mean? But I can't go that route because I can't put on the suit.
But what it also does is it relies on the daughter and the father-daughter relationship to grow.
I picked up
every year. She's because think about it, 20 years from the time when they be from kids, they're gonna want to be able to come back home, or they're gonna have memories, and they're gonna be like, oh, remember when Daddy used to dress up in that Santa suit and he made me believe that there was a Santa Claus? And then somebody can be like, he was the Santa Claus.
That's what's up.
I like start showing all them pictures to your friends, and they be like, "Oh, you put that suit on? Oh, they're clowning you and stuff."
I would tell you right now. That's one of the reasons why I shook the tree. Because if I didn't shake the tree, I probably would be wearing that
suit on.
And I'm jolly like Santa. Like I can be Black Santa for real. I got the gut already.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus on IG too, about 6'7". Dr. Pooh said he was 6 when he found out. Earlier he said maybe after preschool or Head Start program. So okay, that seems like, and you know what? I like that too, because kind of processing what y'all are saying, we always had a conversations about like success and stuff like that, right? But you gotta have a creative imagination. Y'all were talking about earlier about coming up with ideas at night in your sleep and stuff. So yeah, we can't hinder the imagination. I'm with that. I'm so when everyone was talking about that, I need her imagination to be healthy, because she could think the next $1 billion idea with a good imagination, right? Yes, I like that. I'm rocking with that. So we saying about 6.
I want her to be A-type, because A-type individuals do not have filters.
No, you're right. You're right.
And that's another subject for another show. But definitely.
Okay. I think we got that about 6'7". I think we got a consensus on that. Now let's talk about the real life Santa Clauses out there. You know who I'm talking about? The real life Santa, the Amazon delivery people, man. Just Amazon in general. Those are the real Santa Clauses. They deliver the gifts, man. What's going on with Amazon? What's going on with Amazon right now?
Oh man, Amazon workers are on strike.
Striggity.
Strike. And it seems like they wanting their fair share of this this bulk of increase of funds that's going to be hitting our way because of the president-elect or whatnot. But nonetheless, I mean, hey, you know, I'm all for people getting paid, especially you working a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 8 or a 7 to 2, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I'm all for you getting paid. So if you got to strike to get your voice and your point across, strike.
What you think about that, K-Free?
It's the most perfect time to do it. As sad as it may sound, if you want to make an impact and you want to make it your voice really heard, you do it at Christmas, because Amazon is one of the most relied on places during Christmas. There's so many places. There's so many people that are complaining that are like, "Oh, my kids' gifts aren't going to get here until after Christmas." But on the flip side of that, hopefully, you know, it's the backlash is coming to Amazon, not to the workers. It's coming to the CEOs. It's coming to the people that write the checks. So if they want to make things right and they want to, you know, stop the herd of people that's about to come, then you got to give them people their money. I mean, literally, they're the front line. Nothing happens without them. They're delivering goods all over the place. So I feel like UPS. I feel like Federal Express. I feel like United States Postal Service. Like if you're a delivery man, you literally keeping the things moving smoothly throughout the world. So you should get your due share. I mean, if a basketball player, a football player can get millions on millions of dollars for shooting a ball, then why can't I get a good check for making sure that people are getting the goods that are needed to keep businesses running? And you know, like I just feel like it looks bad, but at the same time, on the flip side, because I put myself in both shoes, I see exactly why they're doing it. It's very strategic, and I applaud them for being courageous enough to do it during this time, because it's a big deal. But you know, it's a lot of people out there that are pissed off. I can't blame people either. But
you know what I say about pissed off
people can't even, they out there delivering all these Christmas goods and can't even put no food on the table right now. You know
Damn it.
That's where it's that's where it's at.
Yeah, nah, good point, man. Damn, yeah, I asked. I think we said it here. I mean, just because one person is right doesn't mean the other person can't be right. Like to your point, right? I understand business is business. We live in a capitalist, you know, nation. But you got to do what's right, man. Like I know I like having my packages delivered on time. Pay them with.
When you think about it, if they was doing what was right in the beginning, we wouldn't even be in this position. You feel me?
Wouldn't have to be right.
I look at it. If they were doing the right thing from jump, this would have never even happened. So it's a domino effect. They created it. Now they got to try to clean it up somehow, some way.
Nah, good point. We're getting some feedback on IG. Dr. Poole said, and he did say this. He said, "Told y'all it's robot replacement."
Yeah,
and then he
that's
said,
what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and let me tell you what's gonna happen. Okay, you already know where I'm going with this, Geronimo.
She's not here, so I'll say it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So what's going to happen is Amazon going to have a big deduction in funds this quarter, right? They're going to be like, what happened? Oh, the employees went on strike. Okay, but these are the deliveries, right? Okay, so Amazon already has a drone program right now, and they're beta testing it out.
Yeah.
So they got drone programs. Tesla, don't think Elon Musk isn't thinking about ways to find a way to capitalize on this situation. So don't be surprised if you start seeing some of these Tesla bots removing the word Tesla and has Amazon bots running through the system, running through the city with packages delivering them. Because all you need is to have somebody who is a pilot. Pretty much you can have a pilot sit back and deliver what they got to do. Because if they got literally autonomous cars dropping off pizza to people's house, the same thing can happen. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
However, am I for that? No, I'm not. But the thing about it is, instead of being a delivery, probably go ahead and take some programming classes so you can be on the other side of that switch when that's going to happen.
Good point.
Because they're already trying to replace us. You go into Walmart, a brand new Walmart that's built. They have 3 employees on the floor. 1 to stock, or probably 2 to stock, and 1 to make sure that the self-checkout is working. That's it.
Yeah. Nah. Hey, take that. Parents, man. Get them kids in the prompt engineer, any type of AI specialist, data science, because data drives it all, right? Data drives decision. We said that
data
before.
Drives decisions. DDD.
All of this, we said it before, you know what I mean? And now we're back to that. No, you're right. Be an engineer, even robotics. To your point, there's a lot of robotics programs out there. Get your kids in that, man, because you, at the end of the day, no matter what, those robots will have to be maintained. Right.
Yes.
So yeah, and to have some type of job stability. Y'all need to make sure them kids is getting.
If you're talking about robots, if you think that a robot ain't gonna be able to maintain another robot, and you sadly mistaken. So I mean, like a robot, like I get it, but I'm just saying, like a robot could take care of another robot if it's programmed correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this robot's broken, let me fix it, blah blah blah, and then that robot can fix another robot. So, I mean, we're at a point right now where I think there's a whole lot of things that are about to occur. We're about to have some shifts, and but I can't say that I see a whole bunch of bots just running down the street in the really soon future, because I can't even imagine how much money it sounds good, and it's gonna save them money in the long run, but the investment that they're gonna have to put in to actually do all of that, bruh, they gonna go broke for a minute. And it's just, they gonna get it together.
Let me give you the reason why they won't. There are so many grants for technology that's out there, that's being pushed out there, then they're gonna see a return on it. That's the reason why I see what they're doing. When they started doing autonomous vehicles, Pizza Hut now has autonomous vehicles to deliver pizza. If that's going to be a success, then they're going to look at, okay, well, we have 5. Starbucks is on strike right now in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Seattle.
Damn, Starbucks too? Jeez.
Yeah, it's over 500 locations.
What happened whenever you selling coffees for $7-8 a piece? I get some,
because the employees aren't getting that kickback in certain areas. It's the one back end, so they're striking. So if they got places that can make burgers without having humans in there, they sure enough have somebody a coffee machine that can make its own coffee and have a digital robot or a machine that just come and drop you off your coffee at the front. You know what I'm saying? Because right now there's no cashiers. There's pretty much contactless pay. Contactless pay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Touch the thing. All you gotta do is slide over here, and 3 minutes later, boom, we get the coffee, and we about our way. Because the people who's getting the coffee not really caring about the strike, they're caring about their coffee.
Yeah,
the people on the strike, they're caring about their money, but these companies not caring about them. So there's a care and don't care system that's going out there. That's why rich people get rich. They solve problems. Pointblankperiod.com.
And we've said that a lot too.
I agree with you. I ain't gonna fight that.
We've said that a lot too. Good point. The one thing I was gonna say though, I think long term what you said, KickitFree, as far as like the robots fixing the robots, the one thing I think that will keep us safe for it, robots just not completely taking over, right? Is my favorite thing, governance. I'm not gonna put it on right now because I like how my hair has been done. I gotta show it off, but we got my hair governance hat, right? I said this before. The lawmakers, they're not gonna allow all their taxpayers to lose jobs because then they get no taxes. You know what I mean? That one word is almost like tariffs. I've heard someone say tariffs is a beautiful word. I like the word tax and taxes. Taxes is a beautiful word because that's what's gonna save our asses as human beings. The real talk. Like I know a lot of people be like, man, I don't want to pay no taxes. That's what's saving your ass. Let me tell you right now, because robots won't be paying no taxes, but the humans will. That's the one saving grace that will keep us in the game. Is the government is gonna need their taxes, man. That's what's gonna keep us in the game. So just I know there's a lot of like panic and oh my god, we're gonna lose some jobs. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say that everybody.
Let's not sugarcoat it. If your job is, I said, let's not sugarcoat it. If your job is replaceable, you will be replaced.
You will be replaced.
We're 2 years deep into ChatGPT being available for everybody. 2 years deep. That means that you had 2 years to figure out what the hell you're gonna do about getting another job or creating a job or making sure you have the skills to get yourself in there. Prompt engine. Google's got free classes to become a prompt engineer.
We've been telling y'all all year.
Year 3, especially with the new everything that's coming in, bro. You better get on while you can, because if not, you're gonna get left behind. Period.
Yeah. I mean, period. We named it prompt engineer, robotics, programming, coding, software development, AI, data science. Get on it, man. Cloud technology, right? Because everything we're talking about is gonna be riding on the cloud infrastructure. So
cloud.
Hey, that's what's up, man. So I honestly, man, I hope they come out with a good negotiation, could come up with a good deal, so they're getting paid a fair way. We need them to be able to take care of their families, and they could dress up in their Santa suits. You know what I mean? Yep. We need that. But we've been having a lot of talk about money, man. It's all about that money. You said it earlier. Now it's time. Now we got to talk about cryptocurrency. So just to kind of share what's going on, right? The Haktua girl, she had released her crypto coin. It didn't do too well. She's under some scrutiny right now. That's going on right now. And then you had the Bitcoin Policy Institute. They drafted a presidential policy that's waiting for Trump to sign when he gets in the office. There's a lot going on. The Federal Reserve, they had some statements to make about cryptocurrency. I think that the chair, Jerome Powell, said that they're not allowed to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. There's a lot of stuff going on with cryptocurrencies, right? So it's, you know how like probably the end of last year and then the beginning of this year, ChatGPT and the AI was hot. I think cryptocurrencies is hot right now. And the main reason why KickitFree joined it is he's an avid cryptocurrency person, a specialist. He understands this. So we brought him on here to kind of explain why is cryptocurrency such a big deal right now. Sure, sir.
Well, I would say cryptocurrency is a big deal because if you pay attention to what's going on around you, everything's going digital. And I liken it to, we were having a conversation the other day, and I liken it to, the times before AOL actually came around, and where people were like, oh, the internet, the internet. Nobody really believed in the internet. No one thought that the internet would be as big as the internet is today. And it literally runs the world. Like, if the internet was to go down right now, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves, right? So if you had the ability to invest in the internet back, or AOL, or something that was a piece of the internet back before it actually pumped, you would literally not have a care or a worry in the world right now. So I say that to say this: the world right now, less than 7% of the world is actually invested in cryptocurrency right now. And it's really easy to get deterred by looking at charts and seeing red on the charts and this, that, and the other. But if you think about it, if you was to get into any cryptocurrency that's got some pool right now, and you were to hold, like if you were to do a 401k or something like that, you're going to be waiting a while for it. It ain't like you're going to go take it out tomorrow, right? You're going to wait a few years for that to come out. So if you was to get into any cryptocurrency and wait a couple years, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that you would not be sitting on a gold mine, because whenever it becomes a regulation, because as you can see, Trump and them talking about Bitcoin, everybody that bringing this thing is all pro crypto, which tells you that they're going to move to crypto. We've got to go to something, because our debt ceiling is way too high. Our dollar is backed by debt. We're never going to be able to pay it off if we just stay in a traditional system. But going back to like what you were talking about with the Haktua thing, my take on that is it's a lot of celebrities that are coming out with coins. You can think back to Caitlyn Jenner came out with a coin.
I didn't even know that.
Caitlyn Jenner had a coin.
Akon had one with a coin.
Everybody that's a celebrity, and they utilize that. So you gotta pay attention. Like, do you think Haktua is a developer?
Oh, hell no.
Not a developer by any means. So they just used her name. There's people that are back behind her who actually created that coin. And I was actually looking at it because I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let me take a look. But whenever I looked at it, I seen that 82% of the tokens that are utilized on Haktua are owned by the top 10 holders. That means that the top 10 holders in accumulation hold 82% of the entire supply of hot tours. So that right there to me is a red flag. There's not enough for you. They're just gonna be rugging and rugging and rugging and rugging and rugging. So my take is I don't follow celebrity coins. I also the thing that I've learned in crypto is like you'll see like these things on YouTube. I fell victim to it in the beginning because I was a new person. I didn't understand, but I've realized over time that there's literally people that are paid to lead you to the butcher house, bro. They're there to send you to the butcher. So if you pay attention to the exchanges, case in point, like Robinhood, Coinbase, crypto.com, all of these things, they've got coins on there, and all of these coins that they allow you to buy are coins that at some point have had some kind of downtime. They've had some issues. There's been something going on with those, and then they gatekeep the coins that they know are going to make you wealthy, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go back to XRP. If you ever used Coinbase, XRP literally was blacklisted from Coinbase for years. Whenever the SEC they literally held XRP up for like 7 years, man. It's been ridiculous. Wow. They're just now getting to the point that they're going to settle their case. But if you're not familiar with ISO 20022, okay, this is a government document that you can go and look up.
ISO standard right there.
ISO 20022. You can go and look at that, and if you pay attention to that, that will literally tell you that XRP is going to take over the world, because you know the government uses the SWIFT system, right?
Yeah,
the SWIFT system is operating on the Ripple system.
Thanks,
they're
Corey.
using XRP. They're using XRP to send stuff back and forth to other governments.
Yeah.
So if the government is using XRP, what makes you think that it's not going to go crazy? But there's two different ledgers. They got a private ledger and a public ledger. So the public ledger tells us the XRP is worth like $2 and some change right now, right? It's being suppressed. They don't want people getting rich. They're not going to tell you, oh, this is about to go crazy, so that everybody goes and buys it and then it blows up and they get rich. They want to keep people from making money. They want to keep people from getting wealthy. So they blacklist and gatekeep certain things. The one that I'm in, so like Shiba Inu, if you go on YouTube, you'll see YouTube influencers literally pumping the hell out of Shiba Inu. Go get Shiba Inu. It's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. And all of these people are buying these coins, but they're never going to make much money because it's already so far gone. And that's my thoughts on Bitcoin too. I don't have $100,000 to go and buy a Bitcoin.
No.
Why would I want to own 0.00003% of a coin? Now, that's not to say that you're not going to make some money, but you're not going to see any real returns on that. So my process is I want to get into something that I know that is going to, grow from the bottom, and I believe in, and I see the utility in it, and I get billions of them, millions of them, because I know that they're going to grow at some point. I can go and run after Bitcoin, but if you do it that route, you're going to end up losing, because you're going to end up buying a top. It's going to crash at some point, and then whenever it crashes, you're going to be, oh man, I lost all my money. You're going to try to sell off, so you're selling at a loss, and then it's going to pump again.
Yeah,
it's gonna pump again, and now you like,
that's what happened to me.
That's what I'm laughing, because you said.
Exactly. That's what happens. So you got to get into something early. Like for me, I'm gonna give y'all a tidbit. This is some big stuff, and you can look this up. I'm into a ecosystem called Pulse Chain. Y'all familiar with Ethereum?
Tran.
Yeah, I heard of Ethereum.
Familiar.
Okay,
I've heard of
Ethereum. The system that I'm into is Pulse, like your heart pulse.
PULSE, baby. Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. Ethereum is good, but it costs a lot of money to transact, bro. Like it's almost like the rich people chain. Like you can go on there and you can make some money, but if you make money and you try to swap from one coin to another during high times, it could cost you $250 just to do a swap, right?
Sheesh.
So here's the thing. There's a guy out there by the name of Richard Hart. Okay, his name is Richard Hart. I encourage anybody who's into crypto to look at this guy, listen to this guy, follow him. He is the creator of Pulse Chain, and he's created Hex, which Hex is Bitcoin's code that he copied. He copied the code of Bitcoin, but he enhanced it. So it's faster and it's been flawless. It's been out for almost 5 years. It has operated absolutely flawless. There's been no bugs, and it's immutable. What that means is absolutely no one can touch the contract and change it. Where like on Bitcoin, if they want to mint more coins, if they want to do, somebody can manipulate Bitcoin's contract. The smart contract can be altered. Where on Hex, the smart contract cannot be touched. It don't matter if this dude dies. It don't matter what, like there's nothing going to change. He's got Hex, which is Bitcoin. So I've got that because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting this. So I bought these right now on Ethereum. They're 0.004, I want to say. So they're not even a penny, but they went to an all-time high of like 58 cents. So for those of you out there that are looking at Bitcoin, it's called Hex. You can get it on Ethereum. You can also get it on Pulse Chain. But here's the beauty of Pulse Chain. Anybody out there who's got Ethereum, if you were using Ethereum 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, if you had any coins on Ethereum, Pulse Chain, when it launched, it literally gave the world's largest airdrop. It copied every single coin from Ethereum that you had. You got them all again, absolutely free on Pulse Chain, and they had value. They had value. So there's people that are on Ethereum right now that don't even know that they've got these coins on Pulse Chain. But Pulse Chain is it's way cheaper. It is Ethereum's code. So he took Ethereum's code, copied it, enhanced it, made it much better, safer for the environment. Bitcoin kills the environment because it uses all the electricity. Ethereum, the gas prices are ridiculous. So it's like you're gonna go broke trying to get your money off of Ethereum. On Pulse Chain, you're talking cents to transact. So you've got Hex, which I would tell you is the Bitcoin. On Pulse Chain, you've also got Pulse Chain, which is the native gas token for Pulse Chain, which is a copy of Ethereum. Okay. You've also got Pulse X, which is a swap. It's a swap coin. And that coin right there is deflationary. So there'll never be more, and it's got a buy and burn mechanism. So so anybody who goes onto that DEX, to the Pulse X DEX, and does a swap, anytime something's bought, traded, anything like that, they take 25%, I believe it is, of that swap fee, and it goes and buys up Pulse X and burns them. So right now, this has been out for about 2 years, and I want to say that we're sitting at about 1 point something trillion of the coins have been completely burned, and that's probably well over worth $30-something million all burned. So these coins will never come back. There will only be so many that are ever minted, and it's deflationary. So if you hold these, when people start right now, people aren't even on that chain. But once they get on that chain and they start buying and burning much more, literally that coin is going to skyrocket. So that's like digital gold too, because there will never be any more printing. But please,
so the digital gold, that's a key concept I want you to kind of talk about, because I know I was reading some stuff, and what I was reading was saying that this would kind of allow us to go back to a gold standard. But it would be a digital gold standard, like what you're talking about. Explain that.
The gold standard is going to happen whether you believe it or not. Trump, the reason, because this is a little bit off of the topic, but it'll lead back into what I'm saying. The reason why Trump is being persecuted, the way Trump is being persecuted, and the reason why he was fed to us is to be the racist and all this, and some of us ate it, like I did, and then I woke up to my senses and realized what was going on. But it's because he challenges all the power. The things that you're seeing right now, you're witnessing a transition of power, the biggest transition of power and wealth that you've ever seen in your entire life. So the US dollar, like I said, is backed by debt. That is going away. We're going back to a gold standard. You remember when JFK was killed? JFK was trying to change back to a gold silver standard. He was killed. Think about Trump, how he was assassination attempts. He's going back to the gold standard. If you look at the usdebtclock.org, the usdebtclock.org, literally every day there's a nugget. It tells you something, and it's so apparent that we're going to stuff that's being backed by gold, fine metals, fine minerals, all of these things. It's coming. So there is going to be a crash at some point, but digital currency is going to be what helps us to get out of the rut. Whether it be XRP, whether it be Bitcoin, whatever it may be, all cryptocurrency is going to do is help us to alleviate our national debt and help us get back on track. So
is that where the Bitcoin strategic reserve comes in at? Is that
it's gonna happen? Like Jerome Powell, he won't be there much longer. All of these people that are in there right now, they're all gone. If you pay attention to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, right now they're leading the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah.
They are literally about to put all the 3-letter agencies, the IRS, the DEA, the CIA, every single alphabet agency out there will be completely gone, bro. It's happening. It's going to happen, and people can't fathom what's happening, but it's realistically, it's literally about to go down. You can pay attention to it, but that's why you're seeing everything that you're seeing happen right now. Because the people that are in power, they are losing all of their power, and they're doing everything they can right now to save face. It's going to happen. There's nothing that can stop it. It's already in the works. But that's literally where we're at right now. The gold standard, as you said, if you go look at that usdebtclock.org, you will see in there that they've already got stuff priced out. It's coming. It's just a matter of when they're going to flip the switch. Right now, we're just waiting for them to flip the switch. Whether that happens after Trump gets in office or before Trump gets in office, something huge is about to happen here. We're about to witness one of the biggest transitions of wealth we've ever seen in our life, which is great because it gives us, the people, the power again. We get the power. Back when the government started, if you think about it, if you look at it, whenever Trump talks about tariffs, I know you mentioned taxes, right? The U.S. was the way that the U.S. made its money and got so powerful was through tariffs. People talk about it being a horrible thing, but tariffs they're not bad. Taxes was not even supposed to be a thing. That was supposed to be voluntarily.
Right.
If you go and look at the Federal Reserve right now, there's not even a law that states that you have to pay taxes. They can't even present to you anything in writing that says that you have to pay taxes. It all started voluntarily, and it was supposed to be temporary.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Going forever.
Yeah, it was supposed to be temporary, and it was only supposed to be for those who made a certain amount. It wasn't supposed to be for everybody to pay taxes.
Exactly.
I'll just say this: remember, that's our saving grace from being taken over by robots. So,
but you want to know something? The beauty of it is, if they do tariffs, like, that's not to say that there won't be some form of tax that we have to pay, but rather than us sitting here paying taxes on everything, like I could pay taxes on some money. I give you some money, then you got to pay taxes on that exact same money that I just gave you. If you give it to somebody else, they got to pay. Like, that's ridiculous, bro. Yeah. It's stupid, and it's a system that is built and designed to keep us all down. It's literally, it's designed that way to keep us down. So they're going to do away with that system, which is going to allow us to prosper. And by doing it through tariffs, you can put, they could do away with taxes all in all. But they could also do like a flat rate tax where instead of you paying taxes on every single thing, you only pay like a sales tax. When you go and buy a car or you buy food, you pay a little tax. They can get their taxes that way. They really can. There's ways to do it without rigging the system. The system is rigged right now for us, especially for those of us that don't know the loopholes that Trump was referring to. Whenever he said all the rich people stay rich because they know all the loopholes, they're able to find a way to get their money and only pay $750 on billions of dollars. Like, they're able to figure that out. We don't know all of those loopholes, so it's going to be a beautiful thing. I can't wait because I do truly feel that the power is swinging our way. The pendulum is going to us.
You got a comment real quick from Dr. Poole, KickitFree. He said he agrees 100% with tariffs and kick it. He's talking about you. He's with you on that one. And he followed up saying tax the other countries that's making money on us.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm with that. That.
There's a lot of countries that stopped even sending us goods because they don't want to pay the tariffs. But what I think that's going to do is it's going to cause us to start building again here in America. So it's like everybody's looking at a bad thing. But if you're not getting these goods from another country, now we're forced to have to do it ourselves.
No, you're right. You're right. Now here's the thing with that, right? Now you struck up something else. It started with the cryptocurrency, but it's all in alignment. What you just said, right? Here's the catch-22 with that, right? Because like we were just talking about how Amazon went on strike because they want better pay, right? But when you're talking about building stuff in America, now Americans, you can't pay them on the low. You got to pay them good. Now Americans, it's like, what do we want? Do you want good paying jobs? Because if you get good paying jobs, you can't have cheap products. You know what I mean? We got to decide, what do we want? Do we want good paying jobs or do we want low cost products? Because if that happens, what you're talking about, right? There's no way we're going to be able to have access to inexpensive produce and goods and services and stuff like that, because we're seeing it with Amazon. We see what you just said, Starbucks and all of them going on strike. You know what I mean? Like that's the catch-22 of it all, man.
That sounds like the truth, and I would agree with you. But the flip side of it is like I said, right now we are on a debt-based dollar. That means that the dollar devalues all the time, right? But when we go to a gold standard with a dollar that's actually backed by something, we will be able to afford more. We'll be able to do much more. So whenever you say what you're saying, that's true at this time. But if we do go to a gold standard, which I truly believe we are going to go to a gold standard, your dollar is going to value much higher than the dollar is now, which means that you will be able to afford more goods when the Federal Reserve is not able to just print money out of thin air. That's what's happening. They're causing inflation, which is causing our money to deflate in value. But whenever you've got it backed by gold, gold is, have you paid attention to the price of gold? Gold is higher than it's ever been right now. Yeah. So when you've got a dollar that's backed by gold, the value of the dollar is actually going to increase opposed to decrease. That's the beauty of it. And that's where that problem that you're talking about gets solved.
Okay. So we'll be able to have good paying jobs and good US made products. I'm here for that. I'm with that.
I do have a question though. So if they take away the taxes, right? And those whose jobs rely on tax paying, where do that leaves the structure of of civilization?
Let me ask, I'm a question your question. How much money do you think the government is literally blowing right now of your tax dollars? Because those tax dollars aren't going to absolutely none of these businesses. It's not going to none of these jobs that you're talking about. It's going to other countries like Ukraine and
Saudi Arabia. What about postal workers? Iraq. What about postal workers, police officers, fire departments, civil service? I mean, civil like
the
like
civil
federal
servants, government workers.
Government workers
from sales taxes. So right now we're paying taxes that are going to all kinds of places, but whenever obviously the money is going to decrease, but it also decreases the power of the government and gives us much more power. You understand?
But with more power come what? More responsibility.
Exactly. Would you? Yeah. But do you not want to be more independent from the government?
I mean, yes, in certain places, but I can't drive to Milwaukee to go get my mail. Is what I'm saying.
Well, there's still going to be people that these people are still going to be able to operate. Don't get me wrong. No, there's going to be a decrease in funding to the government, but they're not going to decrease money in those particular areas. Those are necessities. You know what I mean? We need to have people that are delivering money, delivering packages and things like that. But we don't need money. We don't need hundreds of billions of dollars going to Ukraine, and we have absolutely no idea where that money, what it's actually being spent on, and they're just funneling it all over the place. It's literally a money laundering scheme. So it seems to us like, oh, we're not going to be able to operate without this money. But in all actuality, that money, we're not seeing none of it anyway, because they're sending it all over the place, bro. It's not going to us.
K-Free. You got some comments. You got some more from Dr. Poole. He said, create jobs here, exactly 100. We got so much gold we're sitting on too. Fort Knox is real. More responsibility is not a bad thing. Lack of responsibility is what's causing people to remain in poverty right now. Ooh. Ooh. I gotta drop a bomb on that one. Damn.
You become dependent. You become dependent. You become dependent on the system. When you're not dependent on the system, that's whenever you're gonna be able to do what you gotta do. As far as Fort Knox goes, I'm gonna be a conspiracy guy right now, and I'm gonna say I don't believe there's any gold at all in Fort Knox. As a matter of fact, we just went to the Vatican. We sent, I want to say, 7 C5, what are they? C35, C5s, whatever those are, the big ass cargo planes.
C5.
And they went and they took all of the gold from the Vatican that the Vatican had stolen, was holding in the Vatican. So I truly believe that all the gold that they say is in Fort Knox, because they ain't letting nobody in there to see nothing. Like, you can't say that you've ever seen a bar of gold in Fort Knox. And that's not to say that Fort Knox doesn't exist. There may be something in there, but how are they going to have all that gold in the Vatican and all the gold in Fort Knox? We went and took all of that gold back. Trump did that. Trump took all the gold from the Vatican before he got out of office. So there was a plan to begin with. But now that we got all that gold, what's about to happen now?
I'm gonna go back. It's gonna be interesting, man. Like you said. He's also saying, Dr. Poole again is saying, we just sent $1 billion to Ukraine for the third time. Now I got to speak on that. I got to jump in on that. I hear what you're saying, right? It's one of those things. It is what it is. If we weren't sending dollars, we would be sending bodies. So it's an unfortunate thing. Like pick and choose. I would much rather be sending those billions than sending airmen, soldiers, sailors in harm's way, because that's the alternative. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's chess, not checkers. You know what I mean? Right. If it's not that, then we're sending bodies. And I would believe most of us know someone that's in the military, right? We don't want that. If we did that, we would be closer to a nuclear war, hands down. We do not want a nuclear war. So I just had to jump in on that one because I get what people are saying on that. But if you've never been in the military, you don't know. Yeah, we would be like nuclear. We would be discussing different things now. We wouldn't
be on here.
And we wouldn't even be on here.
Yes, we would not.
The optics of it are one thing, but I hear what you're saying as far as the if there's a war going on, we don't want our own people being caught up in it and sent over to Ukraine to fight. Okay, that's one thing. But there needs to be some transparency. Where is this $1 billion going? Why are we sending constant money? Why are we sending money nonstop to them? Have you ever seen? I'm gonna end it with this here because I want y'all to look at something and remember this. But I remember that I was in the 6th grade. It might have been 5th grade, and I come from Texas, so the schooling system out in Texas is definitely a little more advanced than where I'm at right now. And I don't know what it's like in Cali, but Gmo, I'm sure that with you being out there with kids in the Texas system, you understand what I'm saying. Back whenever I was in 5th or 6th grade, I was forced to watch a movie, and the name of the movie was called Wag the Dog. Okay, and at that time, I didn't think much about that movie at all. Okay, but whenever I'm living in the times that I'm living in now, I think about that movie all the time. And the premise of the movie was basically a president who was losing basically his support, right? So this president staged a war. He staged a war and created all of this stuff with all of these green screens and all of it. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what's happening right now, but the premise of this movie is it was all about trying to stay in office and secure a second term. Okay, and it all had to do with creating this war out of thin air. And they had all of these crisis actors that they had in this movie that were doing these things, and it was all on green screen. And to the naked eye, it looked like an actual war. People that were watching on TV, it looked like a war. It looked really, really bad.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, behind the scenes, none of it was real. None of it was real. It was a bunch of smoke and screens, the smoke and mirrors. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I want y'all to take a look at that, and then I want you to take a look at what's happening in the world right now, and kind of base it, because I truly believe that they precondition us a lot through movies and through theater and all of this stuff. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
The whole thing is they have to tell us what they're doing. Period. That's part of their system. They have to tell us what they're doing. They don't come out directly and tell us what they're doing, but they tell us through cinema. They tell us through Hollywood. They tell us through music. They tell us all of these things exactly through governance.
And they tell us through governance. And a lot of the stuff that, if you want to see what's going on, it's out there. WhiteHouse.gov. And then Congress.gov. It's out there, and that's why I'm always pushing governance. It's just we have to take the time to go read it. Bobby made a point a couple of episodes ago when she was talking about they do make it convoluted because they're very wordy, and we are lazy Americans. We don't like to read. It's there. WhiteHouse.gov and Congress.gov. The information is out there, and you can always call your elected officials. Reach out to your elected officials. You elected them. They got your vote. Make them work for you. Make them earn that vote. But I would definitely go out there, get that education, man. But a good conversation, man. Speaking of money and government and military and wars, you actually set us up good for this next topic that we're talking about. So do y'all know what the National Defense Authorization Act is? I'm putting my governance. You know what? I'm gonna put this thing on.
Put it on, Gmo.
Oh, you just messed up the braids, man.
It's all good. We'll be all right. They're twist. They're twist. We'll be all right. But I gotta put my governance hat on for this one. So have y'all heard of that? The National Defense Authorization Act?
No, I can't say that I have.
IG, chime in if y'all ever heard about that. But so the National Defense Authorization Act, also known as the NDAA, basically this is a program that basically sets the budget for Congress on what they could spend specifically on Department of Defense. That is the Department of Defense program budget, right? So our leaders that we elect, they have to pass this, and that's going to set the budget for Department of Defense, right? It's funny because y'all were talking about we don't know where this money's being spent. So they just approved it last week for 2025. So we got our 2025 National Defense Authorization Act budget, which is $895 billion in annual military spending. And when you were saying that, you was like, how much money's being spent? I'm like, ooh, I'm about to hit you. But again, it's out there. The information is out there. You just got to know where to look, right? But I brought this up because there's a few things going on here that kind of came to light. So one thing that's been going on with the military, they've been having issues recruiting and retaining people, right? So part of what that money is allocated to spend for is to boost competitiveness with China and Russia, right? Because we can't let them outdo us in technology. And then it also includes a 14.5% pay increase for the lowest ranking troops. When I read that, I was like, we need that. We need that because I remember when I first came in the military, we get paid breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. And so that 14.5% pay increase, I was reading that they're hoping that will help with recruitment, right? Because if you can make more money working at Starbucks or even Amazon, why put my life on the line, right? So we needed that, man. There's a 4.5% pay increase for the rest of the ranks in the military. And then this is the key thing that I really wanted to put out there. So this year's NDAA, it bans the military health program Tricare. Anyone that's in the military, we get our health care through Tricare. It bans them from covering gender-affirming care for the transgender children of service members if it could risk sterilization. That was something that kind of popped out of me, and I'm like, that's interesting. So before this, minor dependents of military members could use those benefits to get gender-affirming care. But now they can't. If it could risk sterilization. That right there was the main thing I wanted to bring to light. One, hopefully you guys now capture that the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, they have to approve it every single year. So that got approved, but then that's one key point right there. I bet you didn't know some of your money was being spent on that type of care.
I didn't, but the fact that you just told me about that tells me that change is in progress, because they've been, if you think about it, these last 3.5 years, man, they've been pushing this transgender movement so hard and talking about these kids getting basically castrated. I'm like, these kids can't even go and buy a bottle of alcohol. Like they still playing with Barbies, and you mean to tell me that this kid right here is telling you that he's gonna be a girl, and you're gonna go over there and you're gonna do this? So it's ridiculous that any insurance company would even contribute to that notion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I've always been like on the fence where it's like, if a boy thinks he's a girl, then just let him think he's a girl. Why do you got to give him hormones? What's going to change? He already thinks he's a girl. Why do you got to do anything different? Why do you got to go and cut? Like, he already thinks this. So if you're in a position where that's a case, allow the things to play out, because there's so many people that have gone through these surgeries. And nowadays, if you pay attention to them, a lot of them are like, I wish I would have never done it. I'm having all of these issues. But they got it done when before they could even vote, before they could do anything. They couldn't even drive a car yet. And they done already got a sex change. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous to me. I don't like it.
Corey, let's tag Corey in. Come on, tag in.
All right. I'm 100% in agreement with that. I think because of the fact that people want to have, and I'm not knocking pro-choice and pro-life, but people want to make their emotions soothe over when they make a decision, like right away, and not concerning the future, right? We've discussed on this show plenty of times, your frontal cortex lobe, I think I said it right, is not fully developed until you're 26. So if you're letting a child make a lifetime decision at the age of 12 or 13 or 9 or 10, then you are doing two things. One, you're not considering their future freedom. And number two, you're not considering how they will mature. Because if you're not old enough to go to jail, you should not be old enough to make a decision that will alter the rest of your life.
I'm with that.
If you still believe in Santa Claus, you shouldn't be able to get a sex change. That's how I see it.
No, for real.
No, really. But that's where we're at. Like, you're talking 5-year-olds, 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds that's out there getting castrated. So yeah, man, it's ridiculous. But and like I said, I don't want to get too conspiracy minded, but since we on it, it's all an agenda. Like, if you think about what's happening, it's more than just, oh, she's a transgender, she's this, that, and the other. What is the main thing that they talk about? People like Bill Gates and whatnot. They talk about population control. Right? So if you can mutilate children, if you can make boys fall in love with boys and girls fall in love with girls, then what are you doing essentially? You're essentially decreasing the population, because a girl can't impregnate a girl, a boy can't impregnate a boy. They might be able to go out and adopt a child, but it's all an agenda. It's literally it's
deeper than the surface.
It's way deeper. Like I say, whenever I think about these things, I dig deep, man. My brain analyzes all of this stuff, and I like literally everything that we've seen, from the transgender movement to the gay pride movement to all that. Which I have absolutely no problem with gay people. My mother is gay. My sister is gay. I love them dearly. But what I do have a problem with is something being pushed on our children, where there's an agenda to basically with pronouns and stuff like that. It's a conditioning thing, just like you was talking about with the Santa thing. How you can condition somebody to prepare for that. They're conditioning our children right now to prepare for that, and I don't like it. Like, but if you pay attention, you see the signs. It's an agenda, and it's all about population control. Every single thing that you see happening right now comes back down to population control. Everything.
And to your point, Creative Native said, Candace Owen said, we need to stop placing feelings over facts. Ooh, okay. 100%. And then he said,
remember whenever you used to get a trophy, whenever you got first place, you used to get a trophy whenever we were kids, right? When we went and played football, I can remember I had to work hard to get that trophy. If I lost the championship, I was hurt. I was destroyed and sad. But nowadays, kids get participation trophies. They come in last place. They walking around with the exact same trophy that the champions got. So the emotions are completely being killed right now. It's like people are desensitized to actually to where they have to be sensitive about everything.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. And Kevin Hart said it. So get ready for the bleeds. Private school breeds bitches. Point blank. Period. When you get, people get sensitive, and we gotta stop being so damn sensitive. You know what?
No, you're right.
Thick skin does you good. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
I'm a fat boy. I'm fat. If somebody called me fat, I'm like, I know. I see myself every day. You know what I'm saying? PointBlankPeriod.com. But we have this whole thing now where if you say something that's so offensive, like, oh, your skin is darker than mine, you get canceled. What the look, I can go on the ratings.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
And people are scared of getting canceled. I'm the person who says I care less if you cancel me. Because guess what? Canceling means that you are offended about what you can't you're offended and you aren't emotionally intelligent to deal with me.
Once again, think about whenever everybody started getting sensitive. Think about it. Just think about these things. Like, when did the sensitivity change? Like, it used to be prior to Trump, you could say whatever you wanted to say. And then after Trump got in office, it was like Trump started saying things, and then it was like, oh, no, you can't talk like that. No, he can't say this. He can't cuss. He can't do this.
Actually,
that,
I think it started sooner than that. It started sooner than that because
it started. No. It started further back, and
further back. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you when.
Let me see if it aligns with what I'm thinking.
This is my favorite president, Barack Obama. So I think he started around that area, and it started with Kanye when he went up there and said the truth. Everybody think about it before. If he did not say that, will we still be knowing who Taylor Swift was? Let's think about that. No, we would not.
Propel her to superstar.
And they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't did this." Okay, yeah. He said Kanye played the uncle role back then. He was the drunk uncle at the picnic that would tell you, you know what, you ain't about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But boom, and so everybody got all butthurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Beyonce got the best rapper, best music video of all time, she got it. Okay, Kanye, get off the stage. So then everybody started saying things like this and that, and people got butthurt. And then even Obama, when he had, he wanted to like sit down with old boy and have a beer, to bring two guys together and have a beer, right? Them two guys left that table. They still did not agree on what each other's methods were. But people started being so damn sensitive. And
it was around that time. Let me see. It started with Obama. Don't believe me? Look it up. He started to make other countries like Africa try to be, I'm not going to say it, the G word.
There's a lot of things that Barack did. Like, I hope y'all don't take it the wrong way. If you do, then it is what it is. But I voted for Barack Obama.
Me too.
And I regret it.
I don't. But I feel you.
I'll tell you why I regret it. And a lot of things are about to come to light. You'll see here soon. But with Barack Obama, all of the stuff that we're seeing right now, as far as all of this propaganda and stuff like that, that's all because of Barack Obama. He's the one that actually signed in a law that allowed the media to lie to us. Because prior to that, the media couldn't lie the way that they lie to us now. Also, he's the one who started all the gay pride stuff. We didn't have gay pride parades until Barack Obama got in office. He's also the one who made same-sex marriage legal. All of that stuff happened with Barack Obama. But the point that I'm going to say is this: as a black man, I feel as if we all got bamboozled with Obama because he was the perfect instrument and tool to sell to black people. We were so gung-ho on not having a black president ever that when we had the opportunity to have a black president, every single one of us jumped off the ship to go and get it done. And we were used. That's how I feel about it. Now, I'm not saying that Barack Obama, every single thing that he did was bad, but a lot of the stuff that we're running into right now, we're seeing all started with his policies. All of it.
I hear what you're saying. And
I agree and disagree.
You have a point. You have a point. But I gotta share mine. So and the LGBTQ plus elemental P community taught us something, right? The reason why, like, they did what we didn't as a black community, right? Like, we were there and we voted for them, right? But what we did not do was what they did. They went. It was like, hey, they held his feet to the fire. You know what I mean? They was like, hold on. We gave you our vote, but now you got to give us what you said you're gonna give us, and they got it. We didn't do that as a black community. I didn't see not one interest group that from a black community be like, okay, Obama, just like you did for them, we helped you out, dog. Now it's time to make good. We didn't do that, man. So you can't. So go ahead.
So I'm not gonna say he didn't do that. I just think that it made it look like he didn't.
I'm just saying, as a community, we didn't demand that from him like the LGBTQ community. They demanded, they got what they asked for. We didn't even ask for anything.
But here's the thing. No, we did. But the thing about it, everybody got thrown in it. Just like everybody, we always get thrown in it. Black people at the time of Barack Obama became office and passed the Affordable Health Care Act. Black people was the worst in the healthcare system. We had the worst medical healthcare. He put that in place for us, but he can't say this is for black people. He can't say that. But he knew who would benefit from it more if they took advantage of it. Am I right or am I right?
You know, I got to challenge that too, because yes, he can. We had a Daniel last week who made a good point. The government can do what the hell they want, man.
Of course,
they gave rights specifically for LGBTQ, and they said this is specifically for LGBTQ. He could have said that certain rights are specifically for black people. He did it for them, you know what I mean? But we did not demand it. That's my point, right? We did not demand. Hey, that would have been a perfect opportunity to plead our case for reparations. Did we do it? I didn't see nobody do it.
So I feel like he was the perfect fall guy.
He was a pacifier.
He was the perfect fall guy, because this is bigger than Obama. He was the perfect fall guy for them to be able to push through a lot of the initiatives that they wanted to push through, because we're conditioned as a black person to think that white people aren't going to give us what we want, right? So anytime Obama was trying to push something through, he would have a lot of what's the word you want to say, pushback, right? Mm-hmm. And we were automatically conditioned, oh, they're pushing back because of this, that, and the other. So a lot of the stuff that Obama tried to push through that would have been good for us all fell to the wayside, right? But I'm saying it like this. I feel like that was a part of the setup.
Right.
I feel like that was a part of the setup. That was the way that the locomotive was able to push their agenda through more, because they utilized the fact that we are looking at a black man up here trying to go against these white folks in Congress and in the House and in the Senate and whatnot, and him not being able to get it pushed through. And it's like, oh, it's because he's not black. But we didn't question anything. You're 100% correct.
We didn't question it. That's on us.
Didn't question it. But at the same time, whether you would have questioned it or not, nothing would have changed, because it's bigger than Barack Obama. I don't believe that these presidents run anything. There's somebody. No, they're just shadow government that runs the government.
You said it, bro. You said it. Shadow government.
There's a shadow government that runs the government, and he's just the mouthpiece. And at that time, he was the mouthpiece to push through the agendas that they wanted to push through, such as the gay pride movement, such as the same-sex marriage movement. So all of that right there, we can't put it on Obama, but he's the face of
he
all.
Was the face of it all. But for those that complain about who got what and who didn't get something, you got to look at, well, what did they do to get it? Even Dave Chappelle said that on one of his specials. He was like, I don't hate y'all. I'm just jealous. We should be jealous. They demanded what they got, and from my vantage point, it looked like they got everything they demanded. You know what I'm saying? Right. Politics is quid pro quo, man. If you're an interest group and you help someone get in, they owe you straight up. The votes must be paid quid pro quo. Perfect example, and you brought this up too, Corey, with TikTok, right? Because TikTok should have been blocked a long time ago. Should have been blocked, dude. Just last week, Trump made a statement that he will look into it. because they asked for him to look at this situation to see if it could possibly be overturned and not be blocked. He said it. He was like, I'm gonna look at it because I understand a lot of young people did vote for me, and TikTok was a part of that. So that's proof, man.
Yes.
That
I said it though.
You did say it. You said that early this year that the politician who backs TikTok at least a little bit could sway the vote, and that's what happened. And he acknowledged it, right? So it is the people that voted him in are demanding him to, hey man, we don't want TikTok blocked. Looked into it, and he said he'll at least look into it. We should have did that as a black community with Obama. Right. Hey fam, we need some things. You know what I mean?
I don't think that we were 100% ready for a black president. What Tupac said, 100% correct. Like let's say it happened right now. I can imagine that a lot more people would be much more boisterous and active to demanding what it is that they wanted. But we as black people expected another black man to just come in and get it done.
I think
that's what we expected.
Well, I wouldn't say
to have to go and tell the black man we want this and we want that. We expected him to go in office and take care of what it was that we all across the board already kind of feel like we need, right?
Yeah, I think
wouldn't say the word expect. We would use the same word he did in his campaign. We would hope that he would do it. And that's what he ran on. And the thing about it is, you're right, K. You're right, KickitFree. You know what I'm saying? He was the person who was the fall guy, right? And it's so much to the fall guy to the fact that they still say, go get your Obama phone, right? What does phone do? Phones nowadays, you're mainly being distracted off of stuff. Go get your Obama, go get your Obamacare. It's really the Affordable Care Act, right? Yes, the LGBTQ and all of them benefit from the Obama being in president. And you're right, Gmo. We should have held him to the fire. The only thing about it is we did not know what we could do because we didn't a lot of us probably didn't think he was going to get that far to being the Democratic nominee.
Good point. I didn't think he had a chance.
No, I wanted him to get it, but we didn't. You know how you set yourself up for expectations and then it doesn't fall through. So you're like, well, we didn't put too much energy into it because we don't think it's going to happen. Had we had that energy, had we had that hope, we said that we believed in him winning, we probably would have had those things set in place. Like, hey, can African Americans get reparations? You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, they did it for the LGBTQ, tribal. What is it called? I think certain tribes.
Well, to clarify, LGBTQ, they didn't get reparations. They got a whole bunch of rights that they demanded.
Right, they got rights. The thing about it is they got something in their favor. We needed something in our favor that only we could benefit from, and we didn't.
Can I ask you a question, Corey?
Yeah.
Whenever and just think about this logically. Whenever you saw that was happening and they were getting all of these rights, how did that make you feel as a black man?
As a black man, I wasn't upset because I don't think, as a Christian man, right? I don't think black first. I think, you know what I'm saying, people first. And that's just how I've been. And I'm like, that's great. These people are getting what they want. You know what I'm saying? I'm never a hater. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody's being uplifted. So I'm not going to be upset if they're getting something and I'm not getting something. I'm saying like, okay, great. Maybe we're going to have something for us later. Maybe we'll get something for us. And then when we got affordable healthcare, and I was like, great. Because my mom's was sick. Pointblankperiod.com. She was sick and she couldn't afford to do the things she could do to get better. When healthcare rolled in, she was able to get better healthcare. That's good. I was cool with it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, okay, this man was able to get this passed. Even though, like, we all know that there's Chappelle behind moving the screens, right? But this thing worked out in a favor for that. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get a chance to get stuff that I think that I could take advantage of, which I didn't know that I wasn't even into politics at that time where I can say, let me see if we can, you know what I'm saying, black and brown can get something for us only, right? I was just like, we got healthcare. My mama can go to the hospital, ain't got to get a bill, and she can get help.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because I truly believe that the government ain't stupid, right?
Right.
And the government, the government plays chess with us. So what I'm trying to say is, okay, you may not have been, bothered, but I can tell you for a fact that there's black people out there that have been fighting for rights for hundreds of years. They've been fighting for rights, and they got absolutely nothing. And you got a group of people that just kind of assembled, and now they're getting all of these rights. And I guarantee you that was a very, very strategic move by our government, because they wanted to cause that. They wanted to cause that friction, cause that divide and separate. Because really, everything in order to win, what is the saying? You got to divide and conquer. Right?
Yep.
And the only way you can do that is by keeping people apart, keeping them apart, driving that wedge in there. So whenever that happened, for me, I was upset, because what I'm sitting here seeing is like, oh, I see what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
I see the bigger picture here. This isn't about them getting rights. Like they should have rights.
Ooh, good point.
They should have rights just like everybody else. But we should have rights too. And if we can't get rights after fighting for all of these years, there's got to be something bigger in the picture. Like, what's going on here? So that's where my brain went. And I can imagine that there's millions of black people around the world who have the exact same thought process.
No, I get that.
It's like, what are y'all trying to do? Are you trying to piss me off right now? Because that's what it seemed like. It seemed like you're trying to get a reaction out of me.
It was a good chess move. We got a question I'm gonna answer, and this is from Creative Native, and I did remember seeing this. So last week we did do some talking about reparations, which I got to follow up with you on anyway, Corey. But anyway, the question I was asked was, if they gave us reparation payments, but you had to go to Africa, will we do it? And I'm gonna say no, because when they paid the Japanese Americans that 1.6 million from reparations for being in those internment camps, they didn't have to go back to Japan. So all I'm asking, when we were talking about it last week, is give us the similar compensation you gave the Japanese Americans. They paid it 1.6 billion. That was back in during World War II. So with inflation, how much would that be now? Maybe about, I don't know, 100 billion. You know what I'm saying? That they were able to invest and lift their communities out of poverty, and you know what I'm saying? And and it compounds, right, with equity and stuff like that. So no, you didn't make the Japanese Americans go back to Japan. So now we're not going back to Africa. We don't even know where to go. So that's a whole
Japan is a country, Africa is a continent.
I had to answer that question.
How do we know that we actually came from Africa? Because ain't nobody from Africa coming over here trying to take us back and help us and get us out of here. And I'm gonna tell you, I pay attention to a lot of literature. I pay attention to a lot of museums. Have you ever seen a slave ship in a museum?
No.
So where they at? Where they at?
I have not.
You can go somewhere and see pieces of the Mayflower. You can go somewhere and see pieces. Where the slave ships at? Where they at? So
let me just be clear.
Say that we actually came from Africa. This could have been Africa at one point. Who knows? Like,
true.
I don't believe that we actually came from Africa at all. Like, there's nothing to support it other than the movie Roots and Amistad and all that. Like, there's nothing to support it factually. You don't see none of this stuff in the museum, but they can dig up dinosaur bones. They can dig up all this stuff, but you ain't never seen a slave ship in no museum at all. Why?
They don't want us to know about our history. I mean, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lie. I think there's a lot of stuff that's a lie. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't believe that slavery was we didn't come from Africa. Have you? I know people who've been to Africa, and I've seen live videos in Africa, and like Ghana, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I do believe our ancestors came from Africa. I believe everybody's ancestor came from Africa. Me personally, you see what I'm saying? But we this is our country because of the fact that we are here. We were taken, our ancestors were taken from a place and brought here. And we have to look at it like this land wasn't ours. It wasn't European. It wasn't African. It was pretty much tribal land, right? That's where it was. And then you had, we've heard the stories because history is only told by the winners. Exactly. Am I right?
It makes sense. Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
That's why we celebrate Christopher Columbus Day and things like that. He was a mass murderer.
He was a mass murderer, right?
But we celebrate
Thanksgiving has not been removed off the calendar
at all because it is told by a winner. But if you go look that fool up, you'll be like, what the heck are we celebrating day for? Why?
Yeah. And so they removed it in California. It's now called Indigenous Day, but people still go to work.
Yeah.
And people go to school. Things of that nature. My ultimate point of what I'm trying to say altogether is, what can we do now? We know this new administration is coming in. Yeah. So should we hold his feet to the fire about the things that we want done?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look like us, or we're not going to expect it to get done. Because
we gotta make noise. Gotta make noise. Yeah. You gotta do what the LGBTQ plus did, man. They showed the framework. They showed you how to get it. Like you want to, whoever wants to hate on them, but they showed you what to do to get it done. And I gotta answer one more question too. We got from Creative Native, since we went in this direction. He said Japanese had to prove they were in the camps. What if you do lineage and you're not from slave families? Then you don't qualify. Simple. If there should be a requirement to prove lineage to slave ancestors. And if you don't have lineage to slave ancestors, you don't qualify. But that really should be for the descendants of slaves, right? So they can have a fair chance like the Japanese Americans did. And think about it too. What happened to the Japanese Americans, unfortunate as it will, but it was only a few years, right? Versus what happened to the slaves was 300 to 400 years. And still repairing from that, right?
Exactly.
So it's fascinating, right? How we cherry pick who we compensate, right? Exactly. And who we don't. When you still have people that are suffering and still healing and recovering from those damages. So that's why we always push that. But to your point, Corey, we got to speak up, man. I mean, these politicians work for us. They work for us. They are elected officials.
You know what the beauty of this? You know what the beauty of it is this go around? And once again, how I was talking about earlier about the gate kept stuff and all that, how you got to keep an eye out for that because those are the things that you really want to be, right? Mm-hmm. So I look at real quick. I looked at how Elon Musk, before he actually bought Twitter, right? Before he turned it into X, before he bought Twitter or acquired it, he was literally regarded as the genius of the earth, right? But the minute that he tried to buy Twitter, he became public enemy number one, right? So at that point, I knew, okay, I want to be on Twitter because there's a reason why they're trying to stop him from doing this, right? So what I'm saying is the difference this go around is that we've got a powerful mouthpiece who, if y'all aren't on Twitter or on X, he's constantly on there and people are constantly telling him what it is that they want done. So that Department of Government Efficiency, that right there, I think is going to be huge in getting all the stuff done that we wanted to get done this go around, because we've never had any kind of transparency the way that it looks like we're about to have this go around.
Good point.
So beautiful thing.
Excellent point. And I think that's a good way to start wrapping up the show, man. We're getting, it's going to be different this time around. Yeah. It's going to be different, more efficiency. I would say, just again, I'm going to reiterate, if we want something, we need the right groups, people that can actually get with the leaders and demand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if we don't, we're not going to get anything we ask for. Go ahead.
And that's a risk too, because the people that can get in those rooms have something to lose. Like, say for instance, we get a band of people who have a voice, right? Mm-hmm. May not be the strongest voice. We have a voice. And then we take somebody who has power and influence in the government space. So they got something to lose. So what we need to do is do our due diligence to make sure when we come to the table, and it's just like any other business meeting, because what it is business. You want to make sure you have your P&L, and in this case, what you want and what you're willing to settle for and what you're willing to lose. You see what I'm saying? And then we go into that person, let's say for instance, like a Tyler Perry, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's a billionaire. He know his change. He know now everybody gonna have their eye on Tyler Perry. They're gonna be combing over his business like a scope. But he goes to president-elect and say, hey, we need to do this. We need to do that. Our people need this. This is the reason being for these things that needs to be done. His neck is on the top. His neck is on the chopping block.
The beauty of Elon Musk is the fact that he can't be bought. You need somebody who can't be bought, somebody who's got everything that they need. So that's why I say with Elon Musk, it's a whole different ball game, because he's already said, fuck you, excuse me.
You good.
F you to, like, whenever they cut all his advertisements and all that stuff all off of X, he said, F you, like, take it. I don't care. He's not gonna bend the knee to anyone. So whenever you've got people who are in it for monetary gain, who haven't achieved a certain status, they're always going to be the ability for them to be bought. He's the richest person on the planet pretty much right now. There's absolutely nothing that anybody can offer this dude that's going to cause him to jeopardize anything. So I like the fact that we've got somebody that's a voice for the people who can't be bought. Somebody like Tyler Perry, even though he's got $1 billion, if somebody offered him $5 billion more, he could possibly be bought.
He could be bought. You
know what I mean? So we need somebody who cannot be bought, who has absolutely no skin in the game, who's literally in it to make sure that the voice of the people is heard. And that's why I like.
You got a question,
but Elon Musk isn't the president, though. That's why we got.
But check it. He is the voice of the people, considering the fact that he purchased X to make it free speech. They've been trying to censor everything, and he literally is taking into account everybody who's saying stuff, and he does polls, he does all this stuff, and the people are telling him what it is that they want, such as myself and regular other people that are telling him what they want, and he's doing what he can to make that happen. So I consider him right now to be the voice of the people, because he's the most influential person that we can actually kind of interact with and tell them
all of that is cool. And Corey, you have a point, and I'm gonna add to it. Yes, all of that's cool. He's not the president, and even more important, he's not the Senate, and he's not the House, right? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, those are the real people that run everything, right? So we said it earlier, right? Obama was just a figurehead. Trump would just be a figurehead too. He don't really run things. You still got to pass Senate in the House. Here's the thing, though. He has the Senate in the House. It's Republican majority. So if there's a time that you can ever get anything, the president could get anything passed, it is right now.
Right now.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, if Musk is that mouthpiece, if you will, right? Maybe he can be leveraged to influence, but you still have to reach out to your own state leadership, right? And have your voices heard. That's definitely something I want to put out. Cause I mean, yeah, that's cool, but what can he really do? You know what I mean? He's not the Senate. He's not the House.
If you paying attention to what's going on, he done already shook up everything just by himself. Just him and Vivek Ramaswamy with that Department of Government Efficiency is literally shaking.
He can't write and pass laws, though. I mean, he could.
Of course not.
Yeah,
of course not.
We really got to make sure, and that I want to reiterate, you got to make noise and demand and hold your elected officials' feet to the fire. He's cool. I get what he's doing. He's been appointed to do a certain job, but you still have to go through your lawmakers. You know what I mean? At local level too, right? City, county, state. Don't forget about that too, because I mean he's cool, but I mean at the end of the day, what can he do that we're gonna see at our local level? You know what I mean?
Right. About the influence that he has much more influence than I do. He has more influence than you do. So when we, the people, are voicing our opinion and he's listening to our opinion, he then has the actual voice and the platform to be able to say, this is what the people want. So it's coming across to a broader audience. And there's no more hiding behind state legislation calls and this, that, and the other. Like, we can call the Senate office all we want. We can call the House office all we want. But who knows who's getting those calls, who's getting those complaints, But whenever he's broadcasting it all over his damn platform that has all the political officials on there, they have to see this stuff. There's no running away from it. You can't hide from it. It's very transparent to me. That doesn't mean that he's the one that's in position to call the shots, but he is in position to take our voice and amplify it bigger than it's ever been in the history of our life.
That's cool, but you said something earlier I want to get back to when you talked about being more independent and having more power, and there's responsibility that comes with that power. So I just don't want folks to like lean more on him instead of taking ownership themselves, right? If it's for the people, you got to do it for the people. Be the people, speak up. You know what I mean? So he can definitely probably help. I don't want to invalidate none of that at all. But at the end of the day, it's up to us, man. Like you said, if it's gonna go to a situation where it's back to the people, speak up, dog. Speak up. And if you don't speak up, don't be mad when certain people get things happen and you don't.
Correct. Yeah, for me, it's just amplification. I'm not saying he's not y'all, but he's certainly able to help us get our word across 100%. A little bit more than we could, without it.
Right.
And then we did have a question I didn't get a chance to ask earlier. This was going back to reparations. It was in the lineage test. We were asked by Creative Native, what if we do a lineage test and we find out we're Drake Black? On that note, we'll end the show, man. Hey, K-Free.
I mean, if I got some of that Drake Black money, I'm all right. I'm
with that. Give me some of that.
Started from the bottom, now I'm here.
Hey, shout out to you, Creative Native. Thanks for that. Now, hey, this was a great episode, man. K-Free, thanks for joining us, man. Again, plug that album, man. Plug that album. When is it coming out again?
Don't forget Pixels. I go by KickitFree. The album is called Pixels. It will be released on all major platforms at midnight Eastern time, December 25th. So, I mean, technically, if you in Arizona, you could get it on the 24th at like
9 o'clock.
Is it 9? Are they 3 hours ahead?
3 hours away.
9 o'clock Arizona time, but midnight December 25th. Merry Christmas to everybody. It's my gift to you.
Oh, yeah.
And, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.
I like that. And tell folks how to get in contact with you. Since you out of retirement, you out of hiding, you got to touch people now, man. You
outside, brother.
You outside. Tell them how to
you can reach me at KickitFree, at KickitFree. I got Instagram. I don't do Facebook. I got a TikTok, and that's at KickitFree too. So everything's at KickitFree. And the cool part about me is that if you type in my name in any Google search, there's absolutely no other KickitFree.
It's showing.
I actually had a dream one time that there was another KickitFree, and I woke up sweating, fighting, but only KickitFree in existence. So I take pride in that,
man. Hey, thanks again for joining, man. This was great. Corey Giovanni, tell the folks how you could help them and tell them
already know. With you. You already know it's your main man with the game plan. And you can reach me at Corey Giovanni on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and also Lemonade. Yeah, the new Lemonade, the one that is powered by TikTok. Yeah. Follow me over there and on Threads at Corey Giovanni. You know what I'm saying? Anything you need, we got it for you. The Core ENT business plan is the main plan from the mainland. Gmo, talk to them.
Hey, Geronimo at tech_Von_go at IG. If you got a interesting topic you want to talk about, holler at me. We can make it happen. And also too, I got the short-term rental vacation home coming soon for San Antonio. So if you planning a trip to come visit San Antonio for whatever reason, maybe you want to go see a family member graduate from the Air Force basic training, or the Army medical training here at Fort Sam Houston, or you just want to take a trip on the Riverwalk, go to the Pearl, whatever you do out here in San Antonio, I got you. Hit me up. That'll be up soon, beginning 2025. Other than that, thanks for joining us. Hey, hold up, wait a minute. Don't forget on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to click that like button
and subscribe.
There you go. Right? Why do they need to click that subscribe button, Corey?
So we can give you some news
that you can use. And on that note, hey, Merry Christmas and good night.
Good night.
Yes.